I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
Take my hat off.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just...
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Done.
And dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. How are you, Joe?
What's up, Doni? How you making out this morning?
All is well. Life's a bowl of cherries. Just got to know how to pick them.
Hey, look, truth in broadcasting.
We've had some very interesting shows over the past couple of weeks. I understand that it has raised some hairs in our Washington, D.C. suburbs.
Oh, yeah, you got a few upset people. That's
What
the
are they
nature of the
upset
game.
about? I hope they're okay.
Yeah, well, you got more supportive people. That's what matters.
Well,
The numbers
let me
come
just-
out in your favor.
What have we been attempting to do, Joe?
Well, expose the inequities that we have found over a period of time in history. But specifically, from a political standpoint, we've focused the last month or so of identifying in each of these counties that we do have some serious issues that we must address as a Black people.
Okay.
That's where we are, man.
Okay. So what are we going to do today, Joe?
We have this issue in Charles County, the county that's kind of have been left out of the equation for a bit, and we have two individuals who are on now, and we're going to talk about what's happening in beautiful Charles County, Maryland.
Okay. So you want to welcome them to the show?
Of course, we have Sharon Taylor, and we have Commissioner Thomasina Coates, and they have a story to tell.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
So, Sharon, tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Well, Doni, I think we've spoken before. I'm actually a good friend to two friends of yours, Mark Spencer and Marcia Jews. But I'm retired from the Prince George's County government, Prince George's County Police Department, and Sheriff's Office. And I have been supporting Commissioner Coates and colleagues and friends of hers like Mr. Gaskins in really trying to illuminate the narrative about what's happened in Prince George's County with Commissioner Coates at the center of that storm, which she should not be standing alone.
Okay. So, Commissioner Coates, you've been at the center of this controversy. You're in Charles County.
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately so. Doni, but I want to first thank you for having me, and I appreciate you're getting right to the point. Thank you so much.
Well, Joe Gaskins doesn't play. I mean, he's got us right on point, but there's been some name callings and some vicious attacks in Charles County, and what's that all about?
Donnie, absolutely. I wish it wasn't true. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is. So in December of 2022, there was a new Board of County Commissioners elected to the board, to Commissioner Board. In December, because we're elected in November, the election, the swearing in happened in December. In December, generally, and it's very political, and generally we actually elect new we can elect new administrators and/or county some county directors and county attorney. So last December 2022, the president opened up the session so that we could have a vote. And generally the vote is who we're going to keep on and who we're not. And that's usually the prerogative and the political climate of our board. The deciding vote was to terminate 2 at-will employees, the county attorney and the county administrator. But what the residents may not know is that not only did I was the casting vote or the casting vote that was requested of and supported of with the commissioner president, but also deciding vote in the 2020 election, 2020 vote to terminate the same administrator. And that's where then soon after that, there was a censure that took place.
So what does this mean?
What does it mean, Jesus? So at this point in time, it's an allegation. A censor is an allegation. They made an allegation that they would hire a title of a private investigator, but actually I call it an interviewer. And she was hired because there were other discriminatory charges or allegations against the county administrator. And this person was an attorney from a law firm and that was hired to investigate another individual's allegations. In the meantime, I had no idea that she also was attempting to investigate allegations that the administrator put against myself. So
you're talking to a double agent and you don't know it.
Exactly. Absolutely. A double agent. Absolutely. And
I love spy movies. This sounds like a spy movie.
Well, right. And it wasn't revealed because I was called in for the interview to support the discrimination allegation that was put against the administrator. Let me guess.
This administrator is white?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Reverse discrimination. Now we have entered the 21st century of the reverse discrimination. Sad to say, but this is where we are today.
And who was the interviewer?
She was hired by the administrator and the county attorney, and she was a Black female out of Washington, D.C.
A Black female double agent.
Yes.
Sharon Taylor, what do you think of that?
I think I've never seen the likes of it. And quite frankly, I appreciate this reserve of Commissioner Coates. But the truth of the matter is that she was the only pushback in a situation where the commission had made some very sound decisions about the changes that had occurred into the county to push it into the future with fairness for all taxpayers. Right? This is a county that switched from majority white to majority Black and brown, which means that now the majority Black and brown are paying the lion's share of the county budget. So at the very least, let's assume that they have some right to participate in the government. The commissioners made 3 good decisions to make sure that when there were job openings, that there would be a diverse pool of candidates. Beat us up for that. Secondly, they looked at a disparity study, which unfortunately the county failed. This particular administrator didn't even want to put the disparity study up because he didn't like the language. What it really said, it discriminated against women and minority vendors. And thirdly, they hired a diversity person to create a strategy to take them through in an orderly manner through these changes in the county. This person bumped up against those three sound initiatives every chance he got. And unfortunately, Commissioner Coates kept at him all the time, and he didn't like it one bit. So, it's always tough when you're bumping up against the status quo.
So Thomasina, Coach, we just want to commend you for having the fortitude to stand up against these individuals. I don't know who they are. They don't sound like nice people, but we've certainly heard the story before. Joe Gaskins, you've seen this before. I know we're seeing it right here in the city of Baltimore. We're over 65% Black, but all of a sudden in our Black communities where we've lived at least for 100 years, we have people who weren't born here telling us that we need bike lanes. The only thing is we don't see anybody on a god darn bike. And traffic has gone from 3 lanes down to 1 lane. And you're looking over there with all of that space over there. And there's no bike. There's nobody. But you're backed up in traffic because they're expecting bikers to come in about 7 or 8 years. Sounds like a similar situation, Joe.
Yeah, Donnie, quite often that's what happens. And Charles County being unique to the equation because it's not a city, a city or a county that has had a populous base of people is certainly not Black entrepreneurs and successful voters. And that has changed, and it's changed so quickly that the population of the county, a certain segment of people, farmers, and other individuals who have controlled the county feel threatened by Black leadership.
Well, you knew that was going to happen, Joe. Thomasina, were you born there?
I was absolutely born in Charleston, born, raised, and I have seen it all. You name it, and I have seen it, including involving with my own family with the disparity that occurred with them, which also prompted me to say, I have to make a difference. I've attempted to make it a difference, and hopefully we'll continue making that difference. But again, it's not pleasant, to always get the targets and bullets and the darts shot at you while you're trying to make that difference in your community. Because again, it's our Black and brown that suffers through this. Our business and our Black and brown businesses, and the disparity study that we recently released shows that disparity. It shows that we have to do a better job and reaching out to those individuals. But we have not been. Of course, we're only a 360-year-old county. But again, we have got to get away from the status quo. And of course, being the target is never fun being the target. But again, who else? Who else is going to do this? If you don't take someone that's already been born and raised in this county and has seen such, this turmoil. And most people know when you speak about Charles County, it's like, oh God, no, I'm not coming to that. That's where the status quo and the good old boys. And I'm like, you know what?
Well, up here, that's how we look at Cecil County.
Yeah.
Harford County is just above us, but Cecil County is just above that. And it's like, we won't be pulling over there for gas.
Right. And that's not especially being the majority minority affluent county in the nation, that's not what we want Charles County to look like. We wanted to represent the folks that live here. Thank goodness to a lot of our people across the nation, across Prince George's and other counties that have moved here.
Well, that's what I got to touch on that. Sharon, were you born there in Charles County?
No. I was born in New Orleans.
You're in New Orleans. Did you bring a po' boy with you today?
No, but I got the gumbo in the freezer.
Okay, any etouffee?
Gumbo.
Only okay. Well, we'll take the gumbo. How'd you end up in Charles County?
Well, the truth is, I met Commissioner Coates by chance after I retired from the Prince George's County Police Department. I mean,
Oh, okay.
from the sheriff's office where Mark and I were together. But it turns out in her situation, having been silenced because of the court case, in December and January, the only narrative was that she was the devil from hell. But her inability to respond means that the negative narrative won the day. So when she was finally unleashed and able to tell her story with Mr. Gaskins and some other supporters of hers, the narrative was on lockdown. I mean, because when somebody's speaking against you, if you don't have a chance then to respond with a counter narrative, then the story that's told becomes the story. And that put her in the most challenging position. So that's actually how I came to know both Joe and Commissioner Coates.
Okay, well, Thomasina, you have a ride or die beside you in a Sharon Taylor. She's dropped some pretty hardcore names, and then you have Joe Gaskins. Joe, help us understand this from a regional perspective. People were flocking away from Prince George's County to Charles County. Do they know what's ahead for them?
Yeah, Donnie, I think the political landscape is unknown to quite a few of them. Yeah. They've come into the county because of the big houses that they can purchase with less outlay. You can still buy more square footage and better homes in Charles County than you can at Prince George County at this moment. And it's because there is a distance to go. We don't have transportation modes that Prince George County has. So looking at a young family, it's a great opportunity for them to get started with less cash outlay. But they are not so entrenched into the political structure, so they really don't understand what's happening around them. And it's up to us to make sure that they do. And so that puts us in front of you. But I'll say this. There are other people who have watched what's happening, and they see this as a demise in their ability to control an economic structure. And when Thomasina was on the side of disparity studies and all of this stuff that they call nonsense, why are we doing this? We don't need this. Then she became the target immediately because she's a strong, very, very strong Black woman. And so the individuals on the commission who've been in control for so long had planned. It was just not something that happened yesterday. They had planned to target the most powerful person on the commission and take their vote away. And they went to extraordinary means to do this, including exporting a judge to render a decision from Prince George County, a judge whose father was a deemed racist or of the old guard in the county, became a judge on a case that he never should have been on. And the ability for the commissioners and the appointed individuals who were the administrator and the attorney to twist this presented a unique case where Thomasina was accused of discriminating against a person in which she hired along with the other 4 commissioners for a position, and then was put outside of the circle and said that she cannot vote as a commissioner on any decisions concerning her own administration. Now, who does that, Donnie? That makes no sense.
Thomasina, help us to understand how the voting to terminate an at-will employee turned into a news story claiming that the 2020 censor was due to an investigation that claims to have proven racial discrimination by you against this employee. And we have already clarified this person is white.
That is true. That is very correct.
Did you grow up with this? I mean, you've known these people for years. I don't understand. I
No,
don't know.
so no, absolutely not. The administrator and the county attorney are from another county, Anne Arundel, by means of Anne Arundel in Baltimore.
What? They've
Yeah.
got roots up here. See, that's all you had to tell
They,
me.
they don't even really they don't even have roots here.
We can knock on their door.
Yeah.
We've got the internet now. You know, racism is so stupid.
It's very, yes, and
It's tiring.
It's tiring, and it's very closet, and we can't it's not the sheets and all, it's the suits. So so it's now turned into suits
And it's inbred. We
Yes.
had a white doctor on this show yesterday, and he was attempting to describe the pandemic as a dark period, but he said it was a black period. But then he went back and he changed it to a dark period. And I said, I'm gonna let you slide right now, white man. But I heard what you said, and don't think for a minute that you won't have to answer that question. What is wrong with people? And then you pull back the cover, and they're all on these dating websites, these same races trying to date black people. I'm just perplexed. What's wrong with races? Okay.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not, hey, date who you want to date, but you're going to have to take the sheet off, and you're going to have to burn the sheet. You're going to have to acknowledge that what your granddaddy and your great-great-granddaddy taught you about being racist toward black people is just awful, wrong.
Well, I mean, now we have a new word in the 21st century called reverse discrimination. Let's reverse it. Let's make them the victim. Let's make them look like the villains. So this is what we have now. And now it's like, everyone now is jumping on that bandwagon of the black woman is the demon child now. You take these.
No, actually, we commend you, Thomasina, for having the fortitude to stand up in a situation where, sadly, we've seen a lot of too many black men not stand up with our black women.
Yeah, I wish it was different, but yeah, it's sadly to say that is sometimes the case. It's a sad time. It is a really sad time when
it's a powerful time. It's a powerful time because think about it, Sharon. Harriet Tubman had it worse.
Absolutely.
Frederick Douglass had it worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? In a world where you remind me of warriors, I just put Thomasina in that spot because we're talking about somebody who thought that he could intimidate a person who was on the very commission that had the power to hire him, right? And now he thinks he doesn't have to address what they want him to do. Who gets to do that? I mean, who does this guy think he is? It was absolutely an absurd situation, and he capitalized on the advantage of a contract that gave him way too much power over the very legislative body that hired him.
Hey, Joe, I brought my gun to this show. Y'all see that shotgun Joe has in the backdrop right there, right? Well, I promised Joe the next time he came on here, I was going to show him my shotgun. You want to see it, Joe?
I need to see it, Donnie.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, it is. The pen is mightier than the sword.
I'm with you.
You got it, brother.
Well, no, we need that shotgun, but let me put this on him first. This commissioner person, tell us more, Thomasina. This is so intriguing. It's downright pathetic when we think about it, but where do we go from here? What can we do? And has any black media stepped up to help?
So not yet. I haven't heard from black
other
people.
than black.
Other than you, Donnie.
We're just getting started.
Right, we're just getting started, and it's called the exposure. We're going through. It's a lot, and truth be told, is that we have some of like they said, not all skin folks are kin folks. So there's some of us that have jumped on this bandwagon too of truly it's disgraceful. All I can say is disgraceful. So where we go from
But you
here?
got some Django, Chicken George black people down there.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, what do you call them? Steven from Django? We got some Stevens. Yes. So
see, Donnie hasn't watched Django, and I tell him he's got to watch Django.
I'm no fan of Quentin Tarantino. He self-proclaimed that it was the best slavery movie, and I'm just done with it. I tell you, you want to show me something? Show me that movie about Birth of a Nation. Now, there were two. The original one by D.W. Griffith was one that set the precedent for racial stereotypes about people. But a young man did a more recent movie about it and had to do with slave insurrections. I'm a lover of Haiti. And if you know anything about Black history, you know that Haiti was the strongest demonstration of Black liberation in the Western Hemisphere. So you will never hear anything good about Haiti in your lifetime.
Ever.
Yeah.
Because Haiti dropped Napoleon on his neck and kicked the French out. So they've starved Haiti. Even the Clintons went down there and robbed Haiti. They've had natural disasters, but they are the strongest Black people on this side of the world. They did what none of us have done. Now, I know we've tried it, but they were successful. But nonetheless, Thomasina, what else can we do? Now, we can write about this person. We can certainly bring in there are other Black media in the area, and there are Black leaders in the area. I'm just curious, are you familiar with Edsel Brown?
Heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, familiar.
Ed Brown is with the Southern Maryland Chamber.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. And
there's another.
You know what I talked about? I know. Yes, I know who you're talking about. Absolutely.
So
my good friend over there, Doris Spencer.
I was going to bring it up. Now, you know Doris Kamneck Spencer. You know she's got 14, 15 type of those shotguns that Joe's got right there.
Right. Absolutely.
We just have to rally the troops.
Yeah, and it's one of those it's one of those challenges we go through because it's like, oh, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So what do you
might as well hit them in the mouth. Right,
absolutely. So you're kind of at a point at kind of pretty much absorbing. What is this about? How did we get here? How do we now think that the word pro-Black or helping Black people or helping African Americans become so bad? Helping the underserved population. How did we become that population that became the worst of the worst?
I'll tell you. Do you listen to rap music, Thomasina? Tell the truth.
I have, not so often recently, but I have, yes.
Well, there's a song called Fear of a Black Planet. That's what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. Sharon, do you understand that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm clear about that. I'm perfectly clear about that.
Sharon, some people just, I don't know, you were born beautiful, and, they just have a problem with it. It has nothing to do with you. But I will tell you this, we can get all of the therapy in the world, but if racist white people don't get therapy too, it's all for naught. And if good white people don't step up to G-check their racist cousins, then they've done a disservice to Edmund Burke's quote, who said that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing. So they've got the wrong African Americans this time.
Yeah.
Yes, they have.
So Thomasina, tell us more about this reverse discrimination. This white guy felt you were being hostile and creating a volatile situation. Is that the correct understanding?
That's the understanding from his perspective. And
so clearly he didn't play for his high school football team, because we wouldn't have let him play on our football team. He sounds pretty soft.
Well, kind of interesting, sounding soft, but he's supposed to be some kind of rear admiral or something like that, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, and
Really?
retired Rear Admiral. So Softy, I wouldn't think that that were the case. But how
He
about
must be soft. I wouldn't want him defending me. He's getting mad
right?
at a black woman for telling him to move over. Joe, this sounds
Yeah.
like a softy. I
So, but
mean,
how about telling him to be responsible and do your job? I mean,
Right.
that's what it came down to. Do what you claim you can do. Do what you were hired to do. Do what you say you're going to do. If you speak it, say it, and do it. But when you're being held accountable and you don't like being held accountable, I feel like that this is changed the tides. You know, when we look at accountability and we're like, oh, how dare a black woman help me accountable? It's like, are you serious? This is what you were hired to do. You also committed to making sure that we have diversity, equity, inclusion.
I want to remind you that black women have raised white children for a long time through the history. So it's not the first time that a white child has been corrected by his black elder in this country. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry, Sharon, I cut you.
But Donnie, the specifics here don't substantiate this guy's story.
Of course
So
not.
first of all, Commissioner Coates, when they hired this guy back, didn't sign off on his contract because she thought it was irresponsible for taxpayers' dollars. So when he came to interview all of the commissioners, he said, oh yeah, I've talked to all the other commissioners and I understand the diversity goals and I'm committed to that. But oh, by the way, I noticed you didn't sign off on my contract. The other thing is when this so-called investigators investigated his allegations of a hostile workplace, she asked him specifically, do you think Commissioner Coates discriminates against you because you are white? You know what he said? He said, no, I don't think she discriminates against me because I'm white. I think she discriminates against me because I won't be her willing ally in her race-based agenda, which are the three programs the whole commission voted on to advance the county. So the white boy told the truth. But when the story got out, that wasn't the story. It was that she was accused of racial discrimination, when in fact, he said, no, that's not why. What she doesn't like is that I won't advance her race-based agenda. So see, that's the problem when the story gets out there and it's not told straight. In the meantime, this foolishness has caused the taxpayers of Charles County, which is what they really ought to know, in addition to the real story, has cost them over $1 million. That is not good use of the county's money, of taxpayers' money. While Commissioner Coates is fighting this foolishness hands down with a few good friends like Joe Gaskins. We got to tell this story. We have to find the language to say call a thing a thing.
You're right, Sharon. You're absolutely right. And what we haven't said and what they didn't recognize that we have Letitia James right here in Charles County, Donnie. They didn't expect that Thomasina would be willing and strong to stand up to this, that she would walk away and she would quit the commission. That's it. Right. When the pressure was on, they thought she would fold. But behind this picture is something else that you also need to know, that these two individuals who have coerced the county attorney and the administrator, they get paid, I think, around $250,000 a year. And that's that's from a small county like Charles County, 100 and some odd thousand in terms of residents. So money is not just growing on trees in the county. And the other thing that they get, Donnie, that you don't know, is a right to work as consultants. Mark Belton is also a consultant on other accounts. He doesn't just work for the county, he also works for other individuals. And from what I hear, there is a housing allowance that these guys pick up as well. Now, you can see there would be a resistance to walk away from this opportunity by these guys when they've got a sweet deal like this that they look at Thomasina and said, this is going to go away. So what they have done is effectively set a system in place which had an attorney to come into the county, make a decision that benefits them. And quite frankly, I think we're going to appeal this one. We're starting a GoFundMe fund for the legal fees to cover this case, because we're not going to take this sitting down. What they've done with her is stopped her from voting. She has a permanent ban. And you let Thomasina tell you what a permanent ban is, because the people of Charles County elected her, but she can't vote because this judge from Prince George County, he might not be living in Prince George, but whose dad was a senator in Prince George County, has all of a sudden came and become the emperor in decision making on the governing process of Charles County.
Thomasina, I just want to jump in for a second. Here in Baltimore, over the past 50 years, people have left Baltimore City and in many ways moved northwest and landed in Randallstown, Owings Mills, Woodlawn. This is northwest Baltimore County. They're in Prince George's. A lot of people have left Prince George's County and moved to Charles County. Prince George's got a tad saturated. So now people are moving to Charles County. In both instances, although we wanted more space or what have you, the fight goes on.
The fight absolutely goes on. It doesn't stop here, Doni. Again, as much as there's an attempt to oust me out of this county government and to speak with and speak to an attempt to request for my resignation, just because I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing what I was elected to do as a governing body, is not going to happen. This is not going to happen, especially when you haven't done anything wrong. Only thing I've done was help any person, individual, black, white, green, or purple, underserved. That's all I've done was help every single individual that would call for any assistance. And to do that and to undermine our government, to allow me to impose a permanent injunction for me not to vote on any matters dealing with our county administrator, who runs the county government, who also now have move all of our county departments under his purview, under his jurisdiction, and tell me that I can't deal with him, who makes the daily decisions, is utterly ridiculous. That I have to go through the commissioner president for my job, to do my elected job, is totally ridiculous, because I can't get anything done. I can't depend on another elected body as equal to me as I am to him to tell me or guide me in how to do my job. That is utterly ridiculous. And this decision was, in fact, ridiculous.
You say change in Charles County is the real story. Change is agreed to by the whole board, not just you. What are these changes talking about?
Not the whole board is not with these particular changes, with the exception was the three that Sharon mentioned was the diversity, equity, inclusion. But again, and hiring a diversity, equity, inclusion individual, that's well and good. That's wonderful. But it's good when you're able to move these matters forward. Right. But when you're stuck in a status quo and it's not moving and it's not doing this job and doing what it was intended to do, then you move nowhere. And until we decided that we're going to come together as a community or board, but guess what this change is going to do? It's going to bring on, and now we're talking about charter government, because again, this type of government is antiquated, outdated, and we have to move forward with another form of government called charter. And so this is very important to our community. For this never to happen again, this is the form of government that we are now looking forward to experiencing in this county. So it's got to happen.
Sharon, the fight is on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I love being retired because now I can fight for all the people, only the people I believe in. Right? I mean, and I'm like loaded for bear.
Sharon, any thoughts on the notion that the struggle is not over? Yes, it's 2023. Yes, we just had the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. Yes, we've seen George Floyd, Freddie Gray, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, but it's 2023, Sharon Taylor, and you still have to fight. How does that feel?
Here's the thing. I think we have to be over them because I'm with you. I'm with you that our understanding is not the problem. It's the absence of their understanding that is the problem. And so I'm done absorbing all that hatred and discord. The truth is, my understanding of my history, I wear as a power cape, not as a weight on my back. And so that's what propels me forward. I'm absolutely clear about who I am and what we've done to make this country great. And you know what? I'm not going to let folks talk me out of being that ever again, ever.
So Joe, besides that shotgun, what other steps can we take before we have to get to that level? What can we do as a community to support Thomasina?
Well, first, exposure with the proper people like you is the first step. The second step is in this equation is clearly missing a coalition or collectiveness coming from the county and its elected officials. With Thomasina being targeted like this, individuals who are elected to office, especially African American individuals, are not to believe that she's the only target that these right-wing individuals have targeted. They are targeting any and everybody that stand in their way, and they want to take a controlling approach to making sure that this becomes in line with a plan that they've already put in place. So it's really up to our leadership not to be weak. We've got the president of the commission who's African American. He has to stand up. We have another black commissioner who's there.
Sharon, that look on your face, I'm a little. Yeah, Sharon, you had a look on your face like, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Joe's right. We have to stand up for what is right.
Yes.
And you know what? That hasn't always been the case, especially in this situation. And I understand I'm looking from the outside. But, you know, this contract that this guy got was let by the head commissioner.
Okay, this decision, I want to understand, Joe, where they brought in the judge from Prince George's County, whose daddy was a good old boy.
Yep.
Why they do that? Why they have to go to Prince George's County, Thomasina, to get a judge?
Well, that interesting question, because I kind of asked the same question. Well, for some reason, you know,
somebody's cousin.
I don't know. I don't know his affiliation. I didn't really know much about him at all.
But he's related some kind of way.
That's a good question. I don't know. He seemed to have been very pro the other side. I mean, it didn't seem like there was a lot of to me a little bit of biases on making sure that you know, I didn't feel like I didn't get the fair opportunity to present a matter.
Maybe
that
they buy their hoods at the same place.
Huh?
You really gotta watch Django, because you are gonna see this. I'm gonna make sure you watch that. But let me say this. Yeah, it's a good old boy club from the 60s, when Jim Simpson, who a lot of you probably don't know, but Thomasina knows, her mother certainly knows, was a senator from Charles County. This guy's father was a senator from Charles County, and they had, along with Mike Miller, they had some of the largest farms in the region, and they were
Thomas V. Mike Miller.
Mike Miller. They were once plantation owners. Now,
Hey, when I first saw Mike Miller, it was here in Baltimore on Pennsylvania Avenue. I had never seen a white man that red in my life, and I swore he was the quintessential prototype of a Klansman. That's him, Thomas V. Mike Miller. He scared me. Honestly, I was a young kid, and the man scared me to death. I was like, damn, I've never seen. He just, he looked straight off of a KKK movie. And then come find out that he was mean to black people all in Prince George's County. I never liked this. He's dead now, right?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Thank
And
God.
they allowed themselves to be controlled by this man for many, many years.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's not dead because some of the same people are.
Oh, he's dead. I checked.
His ideology or his effect.
No, it's dying. It's dying.
Hopefully, we got to kill it, Donnie, because there's. I had a dream last night about this spark that I kept trying to put out fire, and it kept coming back. So, and I equate that to this. It's
not coming back, Joe.
We got it because some people, and I was telling them, look, that seed is on fire. You got to do something about it. And never put it out. But I can see
where Joe. You see what this is? This is a spear all the way from Africa used to kill lions. I'm telling you, Joe.
It's not coming back.
Spear in that grave. That son of a gun's not coming back no more. Okay.
I'm with you 100% because I know we will stamp it out. But I mean, that's where it's coming from, including the one county commissioner that you need to know a little bit about, who benefits and who is the torchbearer for them. And you use that word hood, carries the hood, family carried the hood, is a member, his family owns the local fairground down in Charles County. And it is the Sons of the Confederacy.
Oh my God. Thank you for saying it. Sons of the Confederate.
Sons of the Confederacy. He is one of the commissioners who carries the torch for these guys.
I bet this guy does Civil War reenactments. I bet he does. I bet he goes on the weekend. He puts on that losing uniform of the people who lost. Oh my God. What?
Yes. You got to understand.
That's some serious denial. But I got some holy water. I got it off Pennsylvania Avenue. Cost me like 25 cents. It's some holy water, and it might have a little I don't know what in it, but some salt in it, and you just sprinkle it on them 4 times.
And I need to hook you up with C. Anthony Muse too. He has quite a few bottles of that, so we'll make that work. But let me tell you, anytime you have the hiring of a diversity director, and the diversity director quits, African-American female quits her job and says, this county is not ready for diversity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That says it all.
Well, Sharon, you pay more. You pay bills there. I mean, for you, that's enough. For there ought to be some diversity.
Well, again, there are 5 people on the commission. 3 is a majority, and that 3 majority voted for those 3 solid principles to advance what was happening in the county. And this guy just said, no, I ain't doing that. Right? And Thomasina kept saying, yes, you are. And he kept saying, no, I ain't.
Okay, so we need to bring some more exposure to this. What else can we do, Joe, besides me picking up this phone and this pen after this show is over?
As I said,
Thomasina, is there a way that you're accepting help? Is there an email address? Is there a phone number? How do we want people to support you?
You know, it's been really straining to even do a forward thinking, but you know, there
do
are.
You have a dog by any chance?
A dog?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm allergic to dog dandruff, so no, I don't have one.
Okay. All right.
Sorry about this. They're
Okay.
great pets. They're great. They're great
He's
pets.
got us,
This
Donnie.
is more about
He's got
protection.
us.
I need you to have a German Shepherd. I have a German Shepherd here. He's not doing
No,
anything.
no, I got good friends like you guys. So that's I'm not gonna compare you to
We
a
need you
dog. But
safe until we get there. We need you safe.
right.
Well, what can we do? Sharon, help me out. What can we do?
Well, I can tell you in Thomasina's case, I think what Joe is talking about is really setting up a GoFundMe page. If in fact now the head commissioner decides that her appeal going forward is not going to be financed.
Does Governor Wes Moore know about this chicanery that's going on in Charles County?
Joe?
Well, look, he has to know about it because.
So we're going to make sure we get word to the governor of
let's
this
make
state.
sure he knows about it. Let's make sure he knows about it. I'm just not going to make an assumption that he does know about it because whenever you confront,
that's why we have this ink pen.
Yes.
That's why we have Black USA. That's why we have Be More News.
Yes.
No problem.
The buck stops with the governor here on this one. He's got to stand up. The elected officials in Charles County have got to stand up. We need to our GoFundMe fund to work so we can challenge this again in court, the decision. And we also need to follow up with, I think I'm trying to reach out to National Action Network, and they seem to be pretty progressive. And we'll have some meetings down there with.
Don't forget Ben Crump.
Yes.
I found a lot of times you got to go out of state to get an attorney because sometimes the attorneys here in the state, might have connections or they don't want to mess up their rhythm.
Right.
Yes, they're already paid for.
Came up here to Baltimore and helped the family of Henrietta Lacks.
Yes, that's what we're going to ask for.
Wow.
We're going to ask for. That's a request. That meeting is being set up either this Saturday or next Saturday, so we can establish a plan to move forward, an action plan to move forward. But we need to have continuous dialogue on progress and what's needed on this particular issue.
Do we need a million woman and a million man march, Thomasina?
We do. That always seems to certainly help. But Doni, it's people like you that bring attention to matters and issues that we're facing. It just so happens that I am an elected official here in Charles County, African American elected official with Native American history ties to. But it's
Native American. What peoples?
Piscataway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got Blackfoot. How about you, Joe?
Blackfoot.
There you go. Any Sharon?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
So we need to bring attention.
I don't believe the history books. Let me just tell you, I don't believe anything that some people who act like that guy, there's nothing they can tell me about history. So I went and looked up my own, and I found that Black people have been on these shores for 14,000 years minimum,
right?
Including Brazil. They'll tell you that Black people came here in the bottom of a slave ship. And I'm here to tell you, don't you believe anything they ever tell you, because all they do is lie, especially in the history books. And that's why they don't want us to know our history, because if we knew our history, we'll know that many of us never even came here in the bottom of a slave ship. We were already here.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
We're actually prisoners of war.
Yes.
I know it doesn't fit the traditional storyline. They call that cognitive dissonance. See what happens when you let a Black man into college?
Right.
Educate them. But Doni, speaking of that I saw the Black Wall Street. OWN has a show called Rebuilding Black Wall Street, by the way. Just want to put that in there. But
I saw that. What's the guy? Chestnut.
Chestnut, yeah.
Chestnut,
yes. Yeah. So it's really, really, really nice. They have a quite a series. I think there are 2 series now. But
the truth is, Black Wall Street is really a state of mind.
All right.
Hello.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where we live.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been taught by our elders to have our own. God bless the child that's got his or her own, whether it's Charles County, whether it's Tulsa, Oklahoma, whether it's Rosewood in Florida, whether it's Bronzeville or in Chicago, or Black Bottom in Detroit, Weeksville in New York, doesn't matter. Wherever we were, it's all about that self-determination. I got to ask you this. Okay, you were saying something. I cut you off, but I wanted to ask you about Bowie State University and the historically Black institutions around. Who do we need to get from those institutions to step up, besides the governor and the lieutenant governor? Because this is the first Black governor.
That's true. That, good question. I think we have a Bowie, and we have. I mean, we won't leave out other Black institutions either. Morgan, my daughter was is alumni with Morgan, so we need to reach, because again, what we're reaching out to is what I see, that mostly what I hear about is University of Maryland, College Park. And I'm like,
we need to take that over too. That's been white for far too long. I'm
right.
Just
so
here to tell
we need, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we know what happens there. But the fact is that reaching out to our HBCUs is important. That this is our foundation. And Doni, what I was mentioning was that we've been entrepreneurs all our lives. So this is not new to us. Being an entrepreneur is not new. We just haven't had the opportunity to be exploited and show what we can do. So again, this, to think that in the 21st century that we can't progress forward as Black people, we can't use Black anything, we can't help, we can't pro-Black, to think that that's okay. It's not okay. It is not. And we need to, as a people, come together, stand up and say, we're not okay with this. Absolutely not. And we need to come together, regardless of who you are or where you are, come together and stand up against this form of reverse discrimination, whatever we want to call it, but we have to stand up against it. We even have Black farmers. We're in the trench of even Black farmers being the disparity with Black farmers. Black folks have losing their property by the gammons, being stolen. My family was almost a victim of that until we came together to jump in as a family to say, you're not taking our property. No, thank you. We're taking it back. So again, we're having issues with this. I'm having more and more conversation with our Black farmers that can't get the support and help that they need. It's a sad situation, especially in the 21st century. Black people, wake up. We need to come together. Do not sit complacent. Once we get complacent, then we're going to lose.
Did you ever pledge? You went to college?
I did.
Did you pledge while you were there?
I did not.
How about you, Sharon? Did you go to college?
I did, but I grew up in New Orleans, and that color thing when I was in college, those sororities, they weren't taking dark-skinned girls. They were looking, and I couldn't live with that.
You couldn't pass the paper bag test?
Sharon went on hold. Somebody hit her. But no, I didn't either, Doni. I went to Howard University and I didn't pledge. That was in engineering school, and God forbid the schedule was so tough that you didn't have time to pledge.
Come on back, Sharon. We got to get you back. So you did well, Joe. You don't pass the paper bag test. Thomasina, you ever heard of the paper bag test?
I have. It was later on in my years, but I did hear
my mother schooled me. My mother schooled me at a young age.
Yeah.
To let me know the score.
Right. Yeah.
You're like 7 years old. Your mother tell you the score, and you're like, why are you telling me this? Because when you go outside these doors, it's a different world. It's a different set of rules that you need to be aware of.
Right.
So that you can survive.
Exactly. No, I was definitely schooled on that survivor, because I grew up in the era that, right in the 70s, in that era that was transitioning, and it was tough. They were having a tough time of transitioning that, where, that Black folks were emancipated. They were free.
Well, have you ever had any situation like this in Charles County before? I know you have Doris Cameron Spencer and the Southern Maryland
Minority
Chamber.
Yeah,
Obviously, somebody found the need to bring Black people together there in Charles County. Is this the most telling story as of late?
It is. It's happened all along. We have gone through a huge demographics change, and because of that demographic change, we're seeing more and more of what's going on. We have a mass white flight that's going on, but whoever the ones that are staying here are like, no, yeah, we're going to stay in control. I had a guy that was running for election. It's like, you know what, y'all may win the election, but we control everything. So, and he literally thought it was okay to say that to me, and I'm thinking like, you know, that's
See, that's
really
a coward, Thomasina, because here in Baltimore, we would have met him out back at the woodshed and had a little conversation with him. You know what I mean, Joe?
Right.
Yeah,
and he
I
wouldn't
know
be
what you
saying
mean.
that type of foolishness anymore. You're in the big city, son.
Right. Well, that's what they look at. Charles County is still that status quo, good old boy, like they can speak
but see,
to.
Thomasina, this is where it's so important. Joe, help me out. Black people are making Charles County what it is today.
Yeah, exactly. It's our money.
Your mortgage money, your tax money.
Right.
Black people leaving Prince George's, going to Charles County. Charles County is getting wealthier.
It's the most affluent, the wealthiest affluent African American county in the nation. Now, mind you, so again, we're carrying this county. And to not have a voice or have someone to have a voice for you that's in a position.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Exactly.
So, Joe, Prince George's has given up the title to Charles County on the wealthiest. And this
well, they lost it. They lost it. Fair play. I mean, it's the truth. That's where it is now. The most wealthiest individuals in the country reside in Charles County, no longer in Prince George County. Right. Progress is being made on that line, but we got a lot more to do in terms of political process. We have to make sure our elected leadership also know that with that change comes the responsibility to be accountable to the voter.
And who's the congressperson there?
Thomasina is the strongest person, but no, you have Arthur Ellis,
Congressman.
That's Steny Hoyer. Steny Hoyer is the
senator. Have we called Congressman Hoyer?
Yeah, we need to make that phone call to Hoyer. Well, we have Hoyer individuals who are working with us on this, who are working on Thomasina's side. I mean, put that out. Yes, we do.
His election is every 2 years.
Every 2 years, but maybe he needs to make a more a stronger statement, and we'll have that phone call. But with him,
because we wouldn't want him to get comfortable like Mike Miller.
Yes, and his seat is going to be up in 2 to 4 years.
24 years. There's a young black man named Colin Bird that wanted his seat.
I know that Colin is now. I've met with Colin and another young.
We don't have to keep taking this from these clown people that want to treat us less than. We can just vote them out. All it takes is 100 more Thomasina Coates.
Yes,
that's a powerful name you have, Thomasina.
Really, thank you.
Oh yeah, it puts me in the mindset of a Harriet Tubman.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Dottie. Also, I wanted to mention that Charles County. Most people think because they come through the heart of our county with most African Americans live, Waldorf, but Charles County is only 170,000. So that speaks volume to being the most affluent and wealthiest when we only have 170,000 people that are living in our county. So again, it speaks to where we are and where we need to be and where we have to go and come together as a people. Prince George is about 1 million. MoCo is about 1 million. So again, that tells a lot about our county. We should not stand by this. This is something we should not stand for or stand. We need to stand against this kind of foolishness.
Joe, what do we do next? We're gonna do some type of follow-up if we need to come there, when we need to come there, if we need to do, how we need to do the phone bank. We just need to let them go. Let's let Sharon get some final thoughts. We're gonna wrap this up, Sharon. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a lesson in a history that we need to get by. These are stories that need to be told. You know, we don't have any more time to get ready, right? We have to be ready. We have to have the language that describes this clearly and accurately, you know, and we've got to be on the case. As all of our institutions fall apart, the only way left to save us in America here is us. And so we got to vote. We can't think about voting. We can't talk about voting. We got to vote, period.
I tell you what, Thomasina, all you got to do is put Steny Hoyer's phone number. We need to plaster it all over the place. Steny Hoyer and his phone number. We need people to call that number and say support Thomasina Coates.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely.
So Joe, you're going to get these tactics together. Nobody knows how to bring down South African apartheid better than Joe Gaskins, and I'm sure he has a game plan. He'll be back there playing quarterback like Deion Sanders' son.
1 million the individual march, man. Come on.
Okay.
We'll put it together, and we'll be back along with the plan to fund this lawsuit with it, along with Al Sharpton's assistance from his organization, along with other groups. We'll put
don't forget the young firebrands. You have some young people there in the area. Martin Mitchell, Richard Elliott, Colin Bird. We need those young men. We need to make, and this is an election year. Isn't it an election year?
Yes.
2024.
Yes,
yep. It's coming up.
Well, I know Prince George's has some election. What, November? What's in November, Joe?
Yeah, Laurel and I think Laurel and College Park, if I recall.
So maybe we need to do a car. What do you call it? A caravan from Laurel to Charles County. I mean, whatever it takes to get. We need to get our young people involved. We need them to understand that this is their fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The fight, you know, it doesn't stop, Sharon. We can't get comfortable.
No. And you know what? I'm totally prepared to pass the torch to them. But, you know, all I want to do is pass any information I have so that they will be ready.
Sharon, you were about to tell us about that paper bag test, though. I got to get you to tell us that before we go.
Listen, my mother had a beauty shop. And when I would walk in, she would say, "Hey, Blackie, how you doing?" So, you know, when the girls at Xavier University were saying to me, you know, I saw you walking down the campus with that dark-skinned guy, I looked at them like, what is your problem? So I wasn't raised like that. And that really soured me to what I saw in sororities. And so I didn't join. But I recognize all my life warriors like Thomasina Coates. Because, see, I see myself as a warrior. So I'm behind warriors like her.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'll lend you my German Shepherd for a couple of weeks, Thomasina, until you get your own. Okay.
All right. I'm good. I'm good with petting and loving up on the animals.
Oh, no, he's just going to watch the perimeter. That's all we want him to do is watch the perimeter.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah. That's another story in itself, being threatened, you know, by these folks, you know, for, face mask.
Threatening you?
I was threatened, literally threatened.
What did they say?
There was a photo during the face mask. Of course, we were trying to protect our community citizens. This gentleman, this white gentleman, put a post up on Facebook with a AKA and army fatigue and say, go to this person's house. The three commissioners that voted on this, which are all African American, go to their homes, put our addresses out there.
That's a coward.
Intimidation,
That's a coward.
Exactly. So
up here we call them poo butts. That's a poo butt.
Yep. The same with this.
We got another term, but I can't say it on the air.
Yeah. I mean, this issue too. It has been it's been challenging. I felt uncomfortable walking out of my home and not being protected. So
you threaten a woman, Joe.
Exactly.
As cowards.
Yeah. But the bullying is unbelievable. The things that I receive is the bullying and
they only like that when until you catch him by himself. See, we got a thing called slow walk.
Exactly.
Slow walk him. Catch him by himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of that changes. Let me tell you.
Right. Absolutely.
Sharon Taylor, you know what an alley apple is?
No.
Oh, what?
Well, I have to tell you about that offline.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that there are measures we have for bullies.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
An alley apple is a brick.
Oh.
But you just
Yeah.
Right upside the head. Right upside the head.
Oops. Joe, you're gonna get us in trouble. All right. Power to the people. Let us know what's next. Thomasina, you be encouraged. We need to pull in them churches too. We need to let all of those churches there know, we're always up in church. Church is where the first slave insurrections should have happened.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you look for that. Maryland business clergy came out, but the churches from Charles County has not shown up like they should. So that's going to be a focus. Like an old slogan by a person that you know well, Arnold Jolivet, freedom is not free. That continues to ring.
Right.
Arnold Jolivet was a soldier. Fearless, no fear. And Thomasina and Sharon, we commend your fearlessness. Now, I think you're about an hour, 15 minutes from me, but I'll get there and I'll be. So you got to give me a little head start. But we have some soldiers in your more immediate area. And do tell Mark Spencer I said hello.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donnie. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Story. Thank you for illuminating, Donnie.
My pleasure. Good morning, world.
Okay.